Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Upper Hand Heracross in the Master League. I have this Pokemon build anyway, so I kind of want to give it a try, and I do think it's actually kind of a good Pokemon in the current meta. And the main reason for this is there are a lot of Pokemon that are currently very weak to Flying type moves. And yeah, for example here, we're going to have already our our Dialga, which is going to be one of the Pokemon. We're going to have the Rhyperior, which would be one of the Pokemon that are going to be weak to fighting. We of course have the Kyurems around, so I could see that Heracross with Upper Hand could be a very cool Pokemon to try out for the Open Master League. And that's why I want to give it a try here today. We're going to have a very cool team here. We're going to have the lead of Dialga, the Sasop of Rhyperior, which is supposed to kind of get out, the Pokemon that also our Pokemon in the back doesn't really want to face, but also it's just a very nice neutral play together in the team. Here, by the way, you saw me actually go into the Rock Wrecker, but the game just over-tapped, so yeah, that was kinda not nice for me at all. But it is what it is. As you see here, the opponent is going to go for the Fusion Flare. I would have been already able to get the shield from the opponent here at this point, so I have to play it a little bit more risky. I have to go now for the Iron Head here. I needed to farm on the opponent's Palkia. I would have been already in a great position if I actually got off the move instead of like getting an extra fast move in, even though I tapped on the move. So still, it doesn't really matter because Upper Hand Heracross is going to get the upper hand for the first battle. Palkia against Dialga. Of course, we're going to stay in here. Well, let's see what they're going to go for. They're going to go into the Kyurem, and again, we have another, kind of victim of our Heracross. I wish that Heracross would have a Shadow variant for the Master League, because Shadow Heracross would be really good here against that Kyurem. Would just perfectly farm them down in time. Like this, I'm forced to go for another charge move here. Upper Hand is going to be able to get the KO or get the shield, and now we can use a shield again and get the KO. And at least you're going to be able to realign, which is going to be cool. But also, I might be able to go for the Mega Horn instead now against the Palkia. Mega Horn is one of the hardest hitting charge moves in the game. And we see already that this is definitely the case here against the Palkia as well. They don't have the Necrozma in the back, which is going to be a bit scary. I was a bit slow at swapping out. The game was a bit laggy for me today, but it was, I think, mainly due to my phone overheating. I don't know what was happening with that one, so I don't really want to blame the game for that one. But I was sometimes a little bit slow at swapping because of this kind of stuff. But as you see here, we're going to have Necrozma get, so I can still go for an Iron Head. I know that I survive the charge move from the opponent. So I should be able to go for the full farm on here, but I hope that they don't put me into awkward tail range. That would be the only way where I could see me lose here, and sadly that looks like the awkward tail range. And as you see here, the opponent can go to a move, and that is an awkward tail. And so sadly you're going to lose this battle here. Good game to the opponent, we can move on to the next one. We face an amazing lead here with the Meloetta, because we're going to be able to resist the fast and the first charge move at least against it. The best move for them is Dazzling Gleam. I think they might also learn Focus Blast, but it's going to be a Dazzling Gleam here as well, which is neutral. I can overfarm by quite a bit because I have to go for another Dazzling Gleam to do some damage, and so I can go for the Roar of Time, which is the only way of knocking them out straight away, which is working out quite well for us here. And as we will see, there's going to be the Ho-Oh coming in. Of course, I kind of want to keep alignment here, as I'm going to have a Pokemon in the back that really doesn't want to face the Ho-Oh with our Heracross here. But as you see here, Roar of Time, we're going to get the shield. And now we have a shield advantage, we have switch advantage, we have Rhyperior against the Ho-Oh. We get a free fast move in here. While it didn't look like I got a free fast move in, I actually do think that the move still came through. It did, and that's kind of nice because, yeah, I needed the energy, and that's how it's supposed to work. As we see here, they actually have Earthquake, which is interesting, because like usually they don't run Earthquake, and this will definitely knocked us out, so good thing that we shielded here. We're going to get some damage onto the opponent here as well, which is not going to be enough to put them into farm down range yet, because I still can go for the Fusion Bolt, and they didn't get the debuff. Again, I feel like I'm quite unlucky recently with debuffs of like Breaking Type and like those kind of moves, so it is what it is. Same with Upper Hand. I don't think that you're going to see a single Upper Hand debuff, by the way, and you're going to see quite a lot of Upper Hands, so that is kind of unfortunate. But as you see here, you're going to be able to go for the Breaking Type. This one gets the... No, it doesn't get the debuff either. Why not? But we're going to be able to use a shield, and I think we're going to be fine here, especially as we go for the Earthquake. They don't decide to forfeit, and we can win the battle. Kyurem against us in the lead is going to be very nice, as we have two good answers, and they're going to swap out into the Dialga. I went into my Rhyperior instead here, by the way. This is a bit of a mistake, but it doesn't really matter, because if they let the Upper Hand go through, I can just go for the full farm down here. Again, we don't get the debuff of the Upper Hand. 30% chance to drop the opponent's defense, which is really, very good if that happens, but it didn't. And as you see here, Kyurem on black is coming back in. We're going to be able to align our Dialga. And we might want to invest a shield here just to keep our Dialga kind of healthy. I could have also tried to catch the move onto our Rhyperior, but as you're gonna see, they have their own Rhyperior in the back. We're gonna be able to now swap out into our own one. Charge moves are not really the biggest issue. And again, we're gonna see the breaking swipe from the opponent. Let's see if they're gonna get the debuff. They're gonna shield the move up, they're gonna get the debuff immediately. I can go for my own breaking swipe. What do we get here? Of course, no debuff. And like, that's the thing as well, like again, I don't really want to comment too much about it, but this just changes games. That's why I kind of talk about it. It just changes games. If you get like those 50% chance or 30% chance, it completely shifts the game. And of course, you cannot expect it to get it every single time. Here, I actually got it once, which is really important actually as well, because that allows me to survive the next hit, which I would have not done otherwise. So at least here I got this, which is kind of nice. But again, it completely shifts an entire game. And you know what also shifts an entire game? If you get a 1-turn fast move delay, because I would have been able to at least get a draw here. Unfortunate, like literally this would have been a guaranteed draw if I would have been allowed to go for a fast move. Anyway, we're gonna move on. We're going to have Rhyperior against in the lead. And what do we do here? We're gonna go for the Iron Head, giving us a guaranteed shield advantage. And then we can still swap out into our own Rhyperior, which is gonna be great. They're gonna go into the Palkia here and we can go for the Breaking Swipe, which is going to allow us to get hopefully the debuff. Yeah, we actually got the debuff here. That's cool in a matchup where it doesn't matter because an Aqua Tail is still going to knock us out. So, Aqua Tail comes through here, gonna get shielded. I can go for another charge move, maybe get another debuff here as well. Maybe our luck is going to turn around. We are going to be able to get another debuff, I think. So, again, yeah, we'll see here. Both kind of sides. It doesn't really matter, I think. But then we'll swap out here to the Rhyperior where we can catch the move onto our own Heracross. Breaking Swipe is fine. They get the attack drop there as well. And we can see here very likely the harder hitting move coming through. Oh, never mind. They're going to go for another Breaking Swipe, which allows them to go for the full farm down. We have a ton of energy. They are going to go ahead and go into their... Let's see. It's going to be their Palkia. We can go for the full farm down. And now we have upper hand still for whatever is in the back. It's going to be the Kyurem. Can we get the debuff with upper hand? 30% chance to drop the opponent's defense. We don't. But it doesn't really matter because we still have the Rock Wrecker as an option. And this allows us to get the KO here and we can move on to the next opponent. Kyurem Black is going to be interesting as we'll see here as well. They're going to have the Rhyperior coming in. We're going to try to go for another upper hand against the opponent. But they're going to go to the charge move first. It is going to be a Surf here, so well done there. But we're going to guarantee win this in the 2-shield scenario because counter farms them down. We can go for the upper hand here. Let's see if they want to use a shield. They don't. And so we can realign ourselves. Have the option to even go for a Mega Horn here against the Florges, which is going to be better for us. Mega Horn is going to be also resisted just like the fighting type damage, but look at the damage that we do with this one. We put them at like half health here with a resisted hit, which is kind of cool. They're going to be forced to go for the Moonblast to knock us out, and with that we can go into our Rhyperior. We should be able to let the first move go through. Trailblaze is not going to knock us out, even though it is double super effective, and we can try our best to go for the full farm on here. They're going to go into the Kyurem, which is actually really nice because now we have the option to get them a little bit lower, get the attack drop onto them. And again, we're gonna see no attack drop here. We can go for another Breaking Swipe. Attack drop would be, by the way, really nice here. We got one here. That's gonna be fine. That's kind of the odds that you kind of expect for a Breaking Swipe. 50% chance means every second one kind of hits that. They have the Free Shock, also doesn't get the drop. Master League is way more about drops than I remember, but I guess it does make sense now with the recent changes. As we'll see here, the Iron Head is going to connect. They're still forced to go for 2 charge moves against me. 1 Moonblast, 1 Trailblaze most likely is going to be enough to knock us. 1 Moonblast alone though is not, and so they decide to forfeit. And honestly, like this team worked out better than I expected. Like Heracross is something that nobody is running, but is honestly quite a lot of fun and has like some kind of unique potential, I would say. So we're going to have a Keldeo against us. That is kind of a core breaker for the team because... I mean, I guess Heracross has a very normal matchup there. Like, it's kind of, yeah, toe-to-toe there. Like, both of them are kind of doing the same kind of stuff against each other. But here, it's actually still okay, though, for the Dialga as well. We win this in the 2-shield scenario. We double resist the fast move. Just for a Pokemon that we have here, it's the charge moves that are kind of annoying. In comes Virizion, which kind of makes me believe that they maybe have Terrakion or the Cobalion in the back, which would be a really cool theme team. I would have loved to see that. But we're still going to be forced to go into the Heracross because our Rhyperior has nothing to do against the Virizion. Virizion is actually a very cool core breaker for the Open Master League currently. It doesn't have the stats really for the Master League, but still actually usable thanks to the typing and thanks to the charge moves that it has with the yeah, Sacred Sword as well as the Leaf Blade, which are both very solid moves in the current meta. Again, a lot of Pokemon are weak to fighting, but also the grass type coverage can be cool against Pokemon like Rhyperior, which can completely hard wall. In comes Kyurem. I have to kind of hope that I can win this here with the Rhyperior, and I really hope to get some defense drops against the attack drops here against the opponent, which I do get, which is actually kind of nice. So again, I guess total view here, the luck was kind of okay there. I think it's kind of even, and as you see, they're gonna go for the Fusion Bolt because I let the move go through, whether it didn't matter if I got a debuff or not. I would have been able to farm that down no matter what here. And so we're gonna see the Dialga against us. We're gonna be able to swap out into the Rhyperior. That's the thing as well. Rhyperior is a great save swap, and here we see the Gyarados coming in. We're gonna be able to go for a bait, and they're gonna fall for it. And we don't get the debuff, but it doesn't really matter too much because an Aqua Tail is going to knock us no matter what is going to be happening here. And so the Aqua Tail is coming through again. We're gonna be able to go for a shield here against the opponent. This is going to be the Aqua Tail again, and we can try our best to go for a Rock Wrecker. I'm gonna go for the Rock Wrecker straight away, expecting the opponent to let the move go through. Because I know if I go for I need to kind of go for the bait to kind of guarantee win, and I thought I would expect it. And so we're gonna be fine here. We're gonna be able to even go for more breaking types against the Dialga. Still should be able to get to another one. Very sadly that I don't get really a debuff here. If I got the debuff, that would have been absolutely amazing. And as we'll see, another breaking type comes through. They're gonna go into the Palkia, and we can at least align our Dialga here. This might be the way to go. We should be in our okay spot. They of course have access to Spatial Rent, and I should most likely not have swapped out here. I definitely should have not swapped out here. I should have just stayed in here, played the matchup out. I think this would have been our best play because now Spatial Rent is going to knock us out straight away, and they can still get another one here to knock us out again. So I think this was a bit too risky. I should have just went for the Iron Head as well against the opponent. Didn't go for it. Most likely lost me the battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. The next opponent is quite crazy here because as we're gonna see, we're gonna have Mewtwo in the lead, like a Pokemon that you barely really see recently. And I overfarmed by a tiny bit too much, which allows them to bait me correctly here with this High Strike. As you see here, the Iron Head is coming through. This is going to allow us to go for, neither full farm down. As you can see here, so all the Ho-Ohs coming in. And we're going to try to catch the move here onto our Rhyperior. Of course, we can basically resist everything from the opponent. Unless they're running Earthquake. Yeah, that was not what I expected. And this is going to, sadly, basically lose us the battle immediately because they're going to be able to farm me down now. This is not what we were supposed to be getting onto, but as you will see as well, Iron Head is coming through. This is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent, but we have another Pokemon in the back that we cannot go up, basically against both of the Pokemon that we saw so far. Brave Bird is coming through. We have to kind of go for the full farm down. It does not work out. We were not lucky there. We needed one more fast move. And with that, we're going to lose the battle because I still have Mewtwo with a Side Strike stored in the back. And yeah, no Heracross in the world can take a Side Strike from a Mewtwo. And this is kind of the, I guess, negative sides of this team here, as sometimes there are some Pokemon that is just a bit difficult to deal with. Anyway, good lead for us. And good Pokemon here for us to swap into as well. We're going to have the Rhyperior as a Shadow version. I'm going to use a shield here, hoping for the Rock Wrecker. They go for the Breaking Swipe. I can go for 4 fast moves. That is kind of a safe play for me because I know that I'm going to be able to outspeed them. And now I can see what the opponent going to try to do here. They're going to decide to use a shield. We don't get the debuff again with the upper hand. Against the 30% chance, like it's quite likely to get the debuff with upper hands. But to be fair, I don't know. I feel like I rarely get this. Like I feel like Crunch in hindsight is going to do more often the debuffs. I never really get the debuff here. I have another opportunity to get another debuff off here. Like look on how much this little bug is doing here against the opponent. And this time around, we also didn't get it. 3 times upper hand, 3 times no debuff, and all the upper hands before, no debuff at all. Again, I know, people, this is just how odds are, of course, working or whatever, but it changes matchups. In this case, luckily, I was able to do more damage with the counter still and get to a Rock Wrecker here, which is going to win us the battle. But those matchups completely shift depending on if you get this chance or not. And at least for upper hand, I don't think I had equal chances there so far. You can expect to have it every 1 in 3 usage, which is kind of thing. Here we're gonna see the Florges coming in, Moonblast coming through against us, and we're gonna see that the Iron Head is going to now connect against the opponent's Florges. Let's see on how this is gonna go. This is going to get the shield, and we have here another Iron Head going to connect soon. Let's see how this is going to go as well again. Another Moonblast. Okay, we have to now go into our Rhyperior. Show most that you use the shield. Show most that you use the shield there in order to get another Iron Head off, in order to get the final shield from the opponent. Because then we could have still swapped out and they would have been already in the range anyway, where even like upper hand counter is going to be enough to knock them out. So I would have not really needed to use all those shields here. And now we have to take a risk, hoping that the Breaking Swipe, while double resisted, is going to be enough to knock them out here. But it is not the case. They survive with 1 HP, and so we have to catch the move with our Heracross. This is going to be a Trailblaze, luckily, but let's see what they have in the back. It's going to be the Palkia. It's still like manageable. We can go for the upper hand here. This is going to be enough to get maybe the shield. I do get the shield. Do we get the debuff? Again, not. I think it was like 7 upper hands or 7 or 8 upper hands in this video. No debuff, and sadly we're going to lose the battle here at the end. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.